Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Arkansas Gun Guy, where today I am super excited to take a close-up look at a very iconic gun, the H&K USP 45. I've always heard of the USP. My first gun was a P30L, liked it. I liked it enough to buy a H&K 45C, liked it even more. Still, I hadn't really thought about getting a USP. Even have a VP9, love that as well. They all feel great. I just hadn't pulled the trigger on a USP, so to speak, until now, and I have no idea why I waited so long. So I'll do a quick tabletop unboxing so we can see what comes in the box, do some close-up details of all the guns, maybe take a look at the inside, and then I'll try to tell you everything I know about the history of the gun. So thank you so much for watching again. If you would, please like and subscribe. It'd help me a ton with the algorithms. So now let's flip over to the tabletop. Okay, as with any good H&K unboxing, it starts with the box, the famous black box with the red letters, and that's what you get. Same thing you would expect from all H&K guns. Has all your specs on here, but the standard deal. Pop this guy open. Inside you get just a foam insert, no cutouts, but you get the weapon, which we'll come back to in a second. 2 mags, one in the weapon and one extra. The dry stuff there. You got a sticker. You got the lock and the lock. And the operator's manual. Not owner's manual, but operator's manual. And I did find it interesting because I probably should read more manuals. One question I often get is, what's the trigger pull on these guys? So they actually tell you here that, it's a double action, single action gun. And so it's 11.5 pounds on double action, 4.5 on single action. And we'll take a close-up look at that in a second. But that's all the stuff you normally get there. I'll put the box aside for now. All right, so let's take a closer look at the gun. Again, this is the USP 45. It's a double action, single action gun. This is V1, version 1, which means it has a safety and decocker on the left-hand side. Version 2, which is actually what I would prefer as a left-handed shooter, has the same thing with this on this side. So, and there's like 9 versions of this gun, which is one of the reasons it was introduced. Early on, H&K was famous for making all kinds of cool guns, but they were over-engineered. You had delayed blowback, a roller blowback system. You had squeeze cockers, all very, very, very good, accurate weapons, but also very expensive, hard to mass produce. In the late 80s, they started developing the USP series for the new cartridge that was the 40 Smith & Wesson. And that's a higher pressure cartridge, and this gun was designed around that. It was over-engineered for that high pressure cartridge. Then later introduced to 9mm, and then later still in 45 ACP. So from all accounts that I've read, everything I've seen, this gun is bulletproof. It's the end of days gun that nothing can stop it. I haven't shot it yet. I can't wait to fall in love with it. But that's one of the reasons that drew me to this gun, is just its heritage. It's very iconic, and it's legendary for being indestructible. So can't wait to go shoot it. But all the boring specs first. Again, this is chambered, this is 45 ACP, also comes in 9mm and 40. It's slightly longer than a 40, and the 9 and 40 are the same size, but the 45 is a little bit bigger in every dimension. It's 7.9 inches long versus 7.68 on the standard. The width is actually the same, it's 1.26 inches wide. Feels wider, feels chunkier to me than some of my other H&Ks. The barrel is 4.4 inches long. On the 9 and 40, it's 4.25 inches long. So a little bit longer barrel. Sight radius 6.34 inches. And there's your view of the 3-dot setup. And the thing weighs about 31.5 pounds, 31.3 ounces, sorry. So not 31 pounds, that's a little much. So again, we'll do a front to back check here. So nice looking barrel up front. I think cannon grade barrel. You got your engraving there. Again, the ergonomics on this side are really, really good. Really easy to reach, slide, stop, slide, release. Easy to actuate, cocker and decocker. You have your paddle mag releases here. Again, this side looks amazing. And you have to remember, back in the early 90s, no one cared about left-handed shooters. Ambidextrous wasn't a word that was invented yet, because you flip it over, you got nothing over here. So when I shoot it, at least I don't ride with slide stop on most of my guns. So same thing over here, just doesn't have the controls, which is fine. You'll see you've got a nice oversized trigger guard here, a little detail on the front there. Again, the mag releases. I'll tell you, I love the paddle releases. I know it's ambi on both sides, but I actually use my trigger finger to actuate that. And these things just shoot out of there. So, and if you take a look at the decocker, in case you haven't seen those, again, I'll back up. This is a double action, single action. So in case you didn't know, I'll take the magazine out. The first pull is a big, long, 11.5 pound heavy pull that goes like this. And then once the slide cycles, short reset to here, and you have about a 4.5 pound pull. And it feels real nice. Nothing super special, but not bad at all. Feels really, really good. I'll do one more just for good measure. And there you go. But again, the way the decocker works, or the safety, you can carry this gun cocked and locked like a 1911. Just actuate the safety up there to S. Triggers a fire. You can carry the one in the chamber and cocked and locked. When you're ready to work, just pull that down and pull the trigger. You can also have a trigger cocked and load one in the chamber and decock it without shooting yourself. So I actually have a question for all you H&K fans or all you gun fans in general. This gun can also be half cocked, and I don't know what that does, because you can pop it to here, so it's actuated, nothing works. It's locked up tight as a drum. You can't rack the slide, you can't pull the trigger. You can just going to pull it back and then either pull the trigger or decock it. But I wasn't sure what that half cocked position was technically for. I can think of some uses, but there's nothing in the operator's manual about that. So anyway, there's a close-up look at the gun. Should also note a couple things. You do have the cocking serrations on the back, not on the front. Those have become a thing of recent years. Back in the day, this is all you had was the rear. I'll tell you, the action is pretty smooth for just a supposedly mass-produced gun. It's very easy to manipulate, to do press checks, but the serrations are nice too. Again, H&K has certainly evolved to the VP90 that has ears now to grip, to pull back, but that's not a problem having cocking serrations just in the back. Also, the accessory rail, people who don't know hate this because it's not a 1913 rail. What they don't know is, I do believe this is the first accessory rail put on a weapon, for a light rail put on weapons. So it was H&K proprietary, and since then it's evolved to 1913. I think you can get adapters for most of these, so that shouldn't be a problem, but it's not your standard 1913 rail. Again, 3-dot sight setup up top. And the thing I really want to see is the inside. I don't see the guts. So magazine's out. To take this gun down, you want to put this notch over this. I haven't done this. Let's see if we can do it live. My P30 was kind of hard to do this to, but you line that up and you go to the back side and you're going to push this button through. Okay, so here, push this button out. Pops out like that and just pulls out. Not captured. Again, the P30L, if you've seen those are actually captured in there. So release the slide, pull it forward, and there you go. Close up of the internals. Oops, try. That's not going to focus too well. So there's a nice view of the insides. Rides on these little steel inserts here. And you got this little insert there. This actually helps with your multifunction lever. Locks the safety down. Pull down to decock. So that's how that works. I'm not sure how you get another one on this side. That's going to go to a gunsmith if I ever decide to do that. James Williamson on the H&K websites, he's a armorer, so I may send down to him to have it added to this side and maybe have some night sights put on. But there's the polymer frame, which is very nice. Now, the thing I really want to see is this recoil system, and that looks serious. Let's pull this out of here. So, oh my gosh, look at this guy. Dual captured springs. I've got an old Toyota pickup, and I don't think the springs are that stiff on this thing. This thing is massive. So I think H&K is famous for the recoil reduction system, and I can see why. That's a pretty impressive setup there. So a close-up look at the barrel. Oh, let's look in here first. Again, this slide feels like a tank. It is so heavy. And again, everything I've read says this thing is just over-engineered, overbuilt to withstand way more than you'll ever need it to. Here's the barrel. Oops. Get a view of the rifling in there. So straight from the factory. I thought it was interesting. Again, I haven't fired the gun yet, but look, there's wear already. I guess maybe test fired at the factory. Surprised to see that on there. But again, I'm going to shoot this thing as much as I can, as fast as I can. So that's going to be worn out pretty soon. And then here's the rest of the guts on the inside. So very interesting. Quick reassembly and I'll let you go. So put everything back just the way you found it. Not upside down like I just did. Sorry. So this guy goes in there. Guide rod goes back here. So slide back on. Line these dots up. Reinsert this. And there you go. So let's check for function. And we're all set. So that's a close-up look at the H&K USP 45, the famous H&K USP 45, the gun for the end of days. So I'll try to do some follow-up videos later once I get to shoot it, maybe some comparisons. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate y'all.